Week 7 fantasy football starts and sits. I'm going to get you guys fully prepared going through each position here, starting with quarterback, going all the way to the top defense to start based on matchup, laying it all out here for you guys right here on the #1 fantasy football podcast. If you're new to the channel, smash it, tap it, slap it. I want to get you full prepared in a must-win situation. You have to be fully prepared. It's a must-win regardless of your record. There's been so much uncertainty in fantasy football, so many injuries from Mike Evans to Malik Neighbors to now Garrett Wilson, going to probably miss some time here, hyperextended knee, right? There isn't much in the news other than a ton of injuries. Omarion Hampton, Emeka Egbuka, and on and on. Even players that I thought wouldn't get hurt, got hurt. You got Puka Nacua, a guy that I was predicting would get hurt, and he got hurt. There's a lot of guys, I can see it, right? But there's a lot of players unforeseen, right? Because they're rookies, you don't know. You see the opportunity. Oh, great opportunity. I'm like, you got to draft Emeka Egbuka for sure. You got to draft him, right? And then he gets hurt because we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. That's the uncertainty with rookies. I think it's a fluke thing with Emeka. I think he's great. I don't know how much time he's going to miss. They're saying extended period of time. We don't know. But regardless, we're going to go through each position and give you guys all the optimal players to start each position. Now, if you guys are kind of like, oh, my fantasy team's annoying me, I'm kind of annoyed of it, what do I do? Well, head on over to mybookie.ag because you can get into some bets here. It's going to make it more fun for you on top of your fantasy. If your fantasy's frustrating you right now, like I said, with all these injuries, mybookie.ag is the site I use. Go down, put down a deposit, you get a $500 bet back bonus. That's huge, man. It really just gets rid of that risk in your head. Oh man, I got to put it up on this bet. For new signups, $500 bet back bonus, mybookie.ag. The code you want to use is FFC. Go enhance your game watch experience. We've teamed up with them again. Great site. Go set it up right now. And you guys are going to have a lot of fun on mybookie.ag. Again, remember the code you want to use, FFC. Go to the site, put down your deposit, and get in on the action. If you want my picks, guys, the Counselor's Edge below, get my picks below. I'm going to deliver them to you every single week. You can get them right now, 50% off on my Counselor's Edge, but mybookie.ag, the code you want to use is FFC. Go create an account, okay? Go do it right now. All right, let's talk. There isn't much in the latest news notes. I don't want to spend too much time on. I don't even want to get into the latest news notes because there really isn't. Like DJ Moore, was transported to the hospital following the game. He was held overnight, medical precaution. So there is some news here with DJ Moore. It's a groin thing. He's considered day-to-day. Again, nothing really serious. Josh Palmer, nobody has him really. Ankle, week to week. A bunch of injuries happened in that Buffalo Bills game. And by the way, Josh Allen, man, I'm telling you, I'm just not a fan of Josh Allen. I hate this offense. I can't stand him because the old Josh Allen would throw to Stephon Diggs and he would be the guy. He's not targeting Keon Coleman. And the funny thing is, it's like when they were losing, all of a sudden, I got to throw the ball. Dude, he's not throwing the ball. It's like handoff, check down. I think it was like 2nd and 9. I can't remember what the exact down was. I posted on my Insta. If you're not following my Instagram, head on over there at Fantasy Football Counselor. And like the guy, it's like 2nd and 9, and he's throwing behind the line of scrimmage. Like he's not looking downfield. He's not throwing the ball. And some people say it's fixed, it's rigged, he's in on it. Maybe. I mean, they weren't trying. I can't explain to you. They just were not trying. And then if you watch a Chiefs game last week, it's like, they're just getting all the calls, and it's like, okay, we got a touchdown here. Jared Goff catches a touchdown. Then they reverse it. There's a lot of real messed up stuff going on. So when you're in my Counselor's Edge, I'm like, dude, I can anticipate things. Like I knew the Chiefs would win that game because you're not going to let the Chiefs lose 2 times in a row, and they're going to find a way to make them win. So it's all about not necessarily just who's better based on matchup, but also like who's just in a situation where they're going to win. So that's what I do, guys, to make sure you guys beat the odd makers as well. So yeah, get the Counselor's Edge. I've linked it below. But that's it. I mean, there's really nothing to get in the news here. So we're going to go through each position here. If you're new to the channel, guys, make sure you guys do hit the thumbs up. It takes a second of your time. And drop your questions. If you have any starts and sits questions below, I'll try to get to as many as I can. I mean, this season is moving fast. Can you believe we're already in week 7? It just blows my mind how fast it is. But this year particularly, I mean, it's just been plagued with like injury after injury to like big name players, not just like players that are just like, oh, I can get by without a Tutu Atwell. By the way, Tutu Atwell waiver wire week 7, possibly a good pickup, right? Like I didn't mention it, but like, because if Puka's back after a week, it's just, probably not worth spending a lot on Tutu. But that being said, I think Puka gets hurt again. So It's just been a wild year, okay? So let's go through the quarterback. Now, again, this is a guideline. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is if you got Jaden Daniels on your team, he's got a great matchup versus Dallas. You can see Dallas is going to get lit up just like they did last week, okay? If you got Jaden Daniels, right, and, you've got Jalen Hurts, I doubt you have both those guys, okay? You might want to lead Jaden Daniels because Jalen Hurts has the third hardest matchup versus position. Let me give you a better example, okay? If you've got Spencer Rattler, okay, on your bench as your backup, and you've got Jalen Hurts, third hardest matchup, you're probably still going to start Hurts. But it's just being aware, like, who's got the good matchup? Who do I want to start? Especially if you're playing DFS, this is very, very helpful as well, okay? So let's go through it. Jaden Daniels versus Dallas, great matchup. Dylan Gabriel versus Miami, great matchup versus position. Caleb Williams here, Chicago versus the Saints, good matchup. Spencer Rattler, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young. That offense somehow is heating up. I never thought I'd say that. Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers, a great matchup. Some people are saying, well, waiver wire, I got Josh Allen on bye. Should I start Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, look at the matchup. Okay. And he's available on a lot of waiver wires, free agency. Aaron Rodgers could be in for a good matchup versus Cincy, okay? Matt Stafford here as well, decent matchup. Bo Nix, all these guys, CJ Stroud, Cameron Ward, Kyler Murray, Geno. Murray's banged up. You want to be careful there. All these guys, mid-range matchups. Now, the guys that have it in tough, Sam Darnold here versus Houston against their secondary. Jackson Dart, he's been pretty solid. He's got a little bit tough. Denver plays tough, man. There are good defenses here. And you've got Philly versus Minnesota, which is Jalen Hurts. Drake May, who's been solid against Tennessee's pass defense. It's a little better against the pass, but not a good defense overall, right? Brock Purdy, Atlanta. Trevor Lawrence versus the Rams. We know they're playing tough. Daniel Jones versus the Chargers, another decent defense. Pat Mahomes versus, you got Vegas here, right? And then you've got Tua versus Cleveland. So these are the tougher matchups versus position, all right? So when you are starting a quarterback, you want to start a quarterback, this is very important, that is consistent. Now, there's, again, a lot of uncertainty everywhere. Go back. Now we've got a proven time track here, record from weeks 1 to 6. Who's the most consistent guy? Who's producing week in, week out? Does your quarterback fit that bill? If not, get rid of him. If not, trade. Make a deal to enhance the weaker parts of your offense. Okay, you guys got to stay sharp, all right? All right, let's go to the running back position. Get stay to the end. We got defenses here, okay? Let's go to the tougher matchups here. You're not going to sit Devin Achane, but you need to be aware Devin Achane, tougher matchup versus position. And that's what I want you to take a look at the red there, okay? If it's red, it's a tougher matchup, all right? If it's green, it's good. Now, Bam Knight, let's talk about it. Bam Knight has been a goal line guy. Nobody saw this coming. DeMarcado fumbled the ball a week or two ago. Michael Carter, these guys have been a disaster. Connor went down. Benson sucks because he had the opportunity to take off and he gets hurt. And now it's kind of been Bam Knight, but it's a bit of a crapshoot. No matter who you start here, it's just, you can't really trust these guys. But I mean, it is slim and trim at running back. Got to make a decision, man. A lot of people are excited about Bam Knight, but I'm not excited about Bam Knight, man. But there could be something there for 10 points, right? ATN here, tough matchup versus position versus the Rams. You know they have a tough rush defense. We've seen that this year. Rachaad White, you got to start him. I mean, just based on position, like situation and volume, but tough matchup. Pollard, Spears, they got it in tough here. We've got Christian McCaffrey, obviously got to start him, but he has the 6th hardest matchup versus position. Tough matchups here. Scatterbo, 7th hardest matchup versus position here. They're playing Denver. Kamani Vidal. So this situation here, I mean, isn't it funny, right? We talk about like the NFL rigging games. We talk about manipulation and props and how they're screwing with our fantasy teams. Well, I will tell you this. Last week, okay, now I did waiver wire for last week, and I said, if you're going to choose between Vidal and Haskins, I would lean for Vidal, and I gave my reasons why, all right? The week is about to start, like you're ready to edit your lineups, and I think the news came out probably an hour before. They're telling you, the coach is like, Haskins is our starter. They emphasized that they want Haskins to be their starter. And who did well? Vidal. Why? Because they want to manipulate you. Why? Because if you probably went to props, you probably bet the overs on Haskins. I'm telling you, man, they're out to screw you. Coaches, NFL, they're not out to help you when it comes to props and team bets. They want to manipulate. They don't want certainty at a position. Back in the old days, you used to have Adrian Peterson, I could predict over 20 rushing attempts. I could predict over 100-yard rushing games. I could predict over 1.5 touchdown. That was easy to predict back in the day. Now they constantly want to push this committee garbage. And now I'm hearing there was Dan Campbell was saying, oh, we need to work David Montgomery more because he didn't get enough volume. Dude, Gibbs is far superior. Why would you want to work somebody who's less superior? That's like me going into a car race and saying, hey man, like I got a Lambo, but I'm going to run this old, if you guys remember, the old Chevette, like a little Chevette, little car, like a little, I don't know what's comparable now to a Chevette. I don't even know some of these smaller cars. Like, I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make here is you're going to run your Lamborghini, okay? It's really annoying. I'm telling you, they want to manipulate your teams and the stats and fantasy and all that stuff. It's been wild. Okay, so let's keep going here with these running backs. Again, Vidal's the guy. I went off a tangent. Woody Marks, tough matchup versus position. He's just not been consistent, but I mean, if you got him, it's slim at running back. Kyron Williams, I have him. I'm happy with him. I got to start him. Blake Corum, I mean, maybe he gets more work now that he's back. I'm not sure, but it should still be the Kyron Williams show. Breece Hall, I think he's in a contract year. And I saw somewhere across my feed that he's saying free 20 on his Instagram. Like, I think he's going to get traded. So maybe Davis could start stepping up. Who knows over there? Swift, and then now you're getting into kind of these mid-range matchup. DeAndre Swift mid-range. Guys that have it in good, Warren and Gainwell. Henderson. I mean, another situation where Henderson should be a 3-down workhorse running back. He's not getting the volume. I don't know what to tell you. At this point, last week was supposed to be his breakout week. Didn't happen. I don't know what to say. Like, it's so obvious. And like, with Gibson being gone, you would think like, okay, we got to run our best running back, a guy that tore up preseason, a guy that tore up training camp. We got Stevenson fumbling, garbage player in general. That's why you drafted Henderson and you're not using him. It just blows my mind. And somehow they're squeaking at wins all on the back of Drake May. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, got to start him as well. He's kind of, now he's got that workhorse role there. Kamara, good matchup. All these guys, Judkins, we got Jacobs, we got Dobbins. Again, Harvey being hindered by Dobbins. And again, another situation where it's like, okay, when Dobbin goes down, Harvey's going to emerge. It's like unforeseen, untapped talent, just hiding behind garbage players ahead of him. It's like you got to unleash them. We saw this with Kyron Williams when Cam Akers was ahead of him. Kyron Williams wouldn't have been Kyron Williams if Cam Akers didn't go down. Harvey, Henderson, all these guys are being limited. And I don't know what to tell you. Chuba says a banged up here designation. I think he's still banged up. I think Dowdle's just been tearing it up. So Dowdle's got to be started. Jaden Blue, maybe as a flex. He didn't do much last week at all. Probably not. But, all these rookies just being held back. Saquon not performing to the way he was last year, but has a decent matchup versus position. Those are your running backs, okay? Moving on to wide receiver here. Okay. Now, wide receiver, a lot of injuries. You got to be aware. But Deebo Samuel and, good matchup. McLaurin, again, another guy that's been banged up this year, just terrible. All good matchups regardless. Emeka, set to miss time. Evans, I would say Shepard, Tez Johnson, and Cam. So here's the thing, right? Like, who do you start? And the odds makers love this. The NFL loves this. Who do you start? Tez Johnson. You guys drop it in the comments. Cameron Johnson. Tez Johnson, do you start the Johnson and Johnson or Shepard? Nobody knows. Tez Johnson looks like a good kid. He said that when they said MVP chance, he did this whole thing where it went viral when he was like, oh, the MVP chance, he thought that was for him, but it was actually for Mayfield, and he gets why, blah, blah, blah. Looks like a good kid, but how that's going to translate in my fantasy points, I don't know. I would say that the volume is going to go to Cameron Johnson. We don't know, okay? You don't know what you don't know. You can roll the dice on a flex play on these guys. If I told you that I knew, I would tell you. And some people, I did waiver wire, and I'm like, some people in the comments say, well, you're not helping me. You're not telling me who to pick up off waiver wire that's going to win my league, blah, blah. I can't tell you pick up, Bam Knight and he's going to win your league. At this point in the game, that's why the draft is so important, where you got to have depth and you got to get players that aren't going to regress or are injury prone, right? You got to minimize that risk as much as you can in the draft. And when it comes to waiver wire, you're basically, it's a dart throw. It's a guess. Like anyone tells you Bam Knight is going to win their league is lying to you. And I've heard that people say that, and there's no accountability in this industry. So I'm telling you the truth. Like, I can't tell you if, Tez Johnson is going to win your league. Like, I could tell you pick one up and roll the dice, which is the truth, but there's no guarantees, right? Especially like week 7, and you're just picking up these guys that are going to potentially step up after an injury to a main guy. You don't, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Okay. Rashid Shaheed, good matchup versus position here. We got Cortland Sutton. Again, more wide receiver roulette with these guys. Is it Mims? Is it Franklin? Is it Sutton? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. You right? Look at this. We got Cortland Sutton 3 points last week, right? Nobody knows. Okay. And Pat Bryant getting some work too. And then look at this committee, right? Like, everyone drafted Ladd McConkey round 2. And I said, don't do it. He's had 2 good weeks, right? But is that sustainable? He did well last week because Quentin Johnson was out. Quentin Johnson gets back. He's been the wide receiver 1. Ladd, the first 5 weeks of the season the first 4 weeks was the wide receiver 3 for 4 weeks. Has 2 good weeks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's going to be up and down, right? Puka's out. So I would say go ahead and start Atwell, but there's an injury designation for him. He was questionable as well. Check that injury, right? Like, a lot of people banged up. Adams is obviously a must start and a great matchup here. They're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay? And Rashee Rice set to return as well. All those people with Thornton, all those people with Worthy, or Marquise Brown having a good week. It's like, what happens now, right? Look at this. Like, who is the one? Now you could say Rashee Rice is the one. How is he going to come back and be in a full, groove to succeed? We don't know. Like, nobody knows. You could assume he's going to come back and be the guy, but nobody really knows, because these other guys have kind of stepped up, right? But they got a good matchup regardless, the Chiefs receivers. And then you got Flournoy, Flournoy from Dallas, having him a good week. And then look, 6 points last week. Pickens been hot. I would start Pickens. Good matchup there. Waddle definitely worth the start here. We got Metcalf worth the start. So those are your wide receivers. Guys that have it in tough. Inconsistent A.J. Brown got it in tough versus Minnesota. You got Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, you got to start him just based on volume. Him and Slayton are worth starts, but they have a tough matchup here. Second hardest position versus Denver. Josh Downs been safe. Yeah, I mean, if you have him, you got to start him, right? JSN been hot, but 4th hardest matchup for his position. Note that versus Houston, but you got to start JSN. And and then just keeps going here. Kendrick Bourne, San Fran. Is Ricky Pearsall coming back? We're going to look into that. Follow my story mode on Instagram to get up to date on the news. But yeah, I mean, if he comes back, Bourne takes the backseat. But I think Bourne is definitely worth a start based on how he's been playing, regardless of the matchup. And then you got this committee here with Myers and Tucker. What a disaster. 7th hardest matchup versus position versus KC. And a couple other tough matchups here. We got, Brian Thomas Jr., you got to start him, but he's got it in tough as well. And Jerry Jeudy and Bond, 10th hardest matchup versus position there. They're playing Miami. So those are your wide receivers. Looking at tight end, I've been very fortunate with my Tyler Warren pick. I got him started, but guys with tough matchups here. Jake Tongs, you got to start him as long as Kittle's out. He's been consistent. 2nd hardest matchup for his position though. Hawkinson, tough matchup. Barner, tough matchup. Just be aware. Theo Johnson had that hot week 2 weeks ago, had a dud week last week, 5 points last week, 21 the week before. I still think he's worth starting, but 5th hardest matchup versus position. Brock Bowers, check his injury designation. Is he back? I doubt it. Now, I didn't mention that Brock Bowers is going down this year. Don't spend a 2nd round pick on Bowers, who is an entirely new situation. And sure enough, he's been absolutely busting. Yes, injury counts as regression. Hunter Henry, Tyler Warren, tough matchup as well versus the Chargers. You still got to start him. He's an all-around versatile weapon. Tyler Warren must start regardless. Kelsey, tough matchup. Those are the guys with the tough matchups, guys that have it in good. Geno Smith, Pittsburgh versus Cincy. And you've got Mason Taylor. He's been a weapon. Look at 1 point last week, but he's been solid regardless. And he's got a great matchup versus Carolina. Noah Fant's been hit or miss, right? Like, good matchup though. Regardless, Trey McBride, good matchup. Obviously must start. Harold Fannin must start here. Great position to succeed. Darren Waller must start here. And Tucker Kraft must start. Laporta as well. All good matchups. All right. Those are your tight ends. The defenses. Let's go through this here. The optimal defenses this week. Patriots versus Tennessee. Great matchup there. If you could stream them, that's good. Pittsburgh versus Cincy. Love this. I've got a lot of Pittsburgh stock. They better tear it up. But it's a divisional game. Sometimes you'd be surprised, man. Sometimes teams step up in divisional games. They're playing Cincy. Hopefully I get a good start, man, to my week if Pittsburgh does well at defense. Dolphins versus Cleveland, good matchup. Chiefs versus Vegas. That's a good defense to stream if it's slim and trim. Maybe grab the Chiefs. Eagles versus Minnesota. Panthers versus the Jets could be good. Jets versus Panthers. If Panthers don't keep, they keep going. Like Panthers seems like they're trending up, but we'll see. Broncos versus the Giants, but Dart is pretty good. Be careful there. Falcons versus San Fran and Packers versus Arizona. Another great matchup. I do like Packers a lot. I do like Chiefs. I do like Steelers. I do like Patriots quite a bit this week. All right. Those are your defenses. Now, again, I'll leave you with this when we're looking at starts and sits. All right. There's a lot of people just, again, go grab Bam Knight. He's going to win your league. There's no guarantees in this, right? You want to, at this point, not get any zeros from any of your players. So look at your roster. Who can you use within your roster? This is some fantasy football advice for week 7, all right? Who can you use within your own ecosystem, all right? Who can you trade for? Hey, I'm strong at running back. I want to increase my quarterbacks, right? Like my quarterbacks aren't good. Look for a trade, make a negotiation that's going to strengthen your team. And then who is available on a waiver wire? Do I need a Tutu Atwell to cover me for a week if I'm low on wide receiver? There's 2 bye weeks here. I think it's the Bills and the Ravens, I think, are on bye, right? Lamar and Allen. So people need quarterbacks. So look to the wire, address your needs, and start your starters, the guys that have been the most consistent. I know it's a crazy year. A lot of frantic people going, I lost Puka, I lost this guy. It's been crazy. Take a deep breath. We got this, man. Drop your questions below and stay sharp, all right? Let's win the weekend. The main thing is let's win, all right? We'll talk soon, guys. Have a great day. Starts and sits week 7. Drop your question below and head over to mybookie.ag. The code you want to use, FFC. Go create an account right now.